Are you a perfectionist and still can't create the abundance that you want? If you do something perfectly, it should work out, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. For the best empowerment tips to help you change your life and live your soul purpose, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload new content every Wednesday. So, why should you pay attention to what I say? I mean, who am I? How do you know that this information is going to help you? Well, I have some comments from one of my students, Lisa Casperson, an incredible artist in Asheville, North Carolina, has this to say about her results from working with me. I have quite unbelievably manifested the ability to relax and be still. I'm gaining patience and learning to wait for the universe's timing. I have manifested 25 paintings in a local restaurant for sale. 2 sold the first day to the owner. I manifested Christmas gifts that some of my grandchildren wanted at affordable prices. I manifested forgiveness towards my parents out of the blue while driving to a meeting in my car. And I'm manifesting the ability to speak my own truth without judgment and the ability to find positive solutions to relationship differences. I am manifesting a new kind of life for myself. So one of the things that I find, especially with creative souls, or souls that are very orderly, very organized, is that they have a tendency toward perfectionism. And myself, I am a recovering A-type personality, and I had an issue with perfectionism. And so why is perfectionism a problem when we're trying to create abundance? Perfectionism is a resonance of lack. And this is something that people aren't teaching. This is something that a lot of folks don't understand. If you feel like something has to be absolutely perfect before it is complete, before it is allowed to be shared, before it is done in your experience, so that you can do it or have it or be it or share it or experience it, then that resonance is that it is not good enough the way that it is. And the reason that that's a problem is because as we are creating, as we are in relationship, as we are working towards whatever it is that we're working towards, if we have the paradigm, the patterns, the beliefs that it has to be perfect before it can accomplish its task, then we're completely leaving the universe out of the entire process. And so what does that mean? The moment you set an intention to do something, to be something, to have something, to create something, the universe begins to start bringing whatever is going to support you in that process towards you, so that you can have all the assistance, all the congruencies, all the synchronicities, all the support, all the things that you need that are going to help you be or do or have or create that thing. And so if you're in the perfectionist mindset, that it has to be perfect before it can go out into these things, before it can be birthed or shared into the world, then what you're saying is, okay, universe, I'm going to work this to death. I'm going to work it until it's absolutely perfect. And I'm going to keep working and keep working and keep working. And I'm not going to be open to those outside influences that can get it shared, that can get it moving on, that can get it completed, because I don't yet think it's good enough. I don't think that it's good enough to be acknowledged, valued, appreciated, and so forth. And so what happens then is the universe is just standing there waiting on you to be ready for the universe to assist you. And I know it sounds really strange, but it's absolutely true. And you can practice this. The next time you have a project or an event or anything that your perfectionism typically shows up in, try it with the method that we're fixing to do now, because I'm going to show you how to release this perfectionism mechanisms so that you can then move into the ability to be free from the restrictions of perfectionism, so that then you can allow abundance to come into your experience, because you and this thing that you're creating, that you're trying to be or do or have or create, is already good enough to receive from the universe. Step one, as always, is acknowledge that the perfectionism exists. And you may want to do some journaling around this. You may want to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. And this is not a negative conversation. It is a clarity conversation. And what that means is you are sitting down and you're getting real with yourself and you're saying, yes, perfectionism is a thing for me. And you want to get to the root of why it is a thing for you. And so it could be a number of reasons, but you want to find out what the root cause is that has created the pattern in your thoughts and emotions of this perfectionism, because you cannot remove it unless you know what the root is. So step two is to bring it into your heart space. And what that means is for you to gather yourself, all your energy, leave your mind, go into your heart space, into this neutral space, and bring that perfectionism and its root cause into that space. And ask it what its lesson is for you. Because everything in our experience is teaching us something. So ask, what are you here to teach me? And then you'll want to journal or write or have an additional conversation with yourself after you get the answer. Because remember, the answer is going to come from your heart. It's not coming from your head. So if you start thinking, you're in the wrong place. Drop back down into that heart space and you'll receive the answer in whatever way that you communicate with spirit. You may feel something, you may hear something, you may taste or smell something, you may know something, you may see something. The answer is going to come in the way that your gifts receive information. Now, step three is, once you understand what the lesson is, you've journaled around it a little while, now ask yourself if you've learned that lesson. So it's given you, okay, this is what I came here to teach you. Now get real with yourself and find out, have I really learned this lesson? And it's important for you to do this step because we can't move forward without it. So comment below and let me know if you have learned your lesson or if maybe you have some more work to do. So if you discover that you have not yet learned the lesson and you may want to do some more work around it, I offer coaching sessions and one-on-one opportunities to help you walk through these processes, and you can send me an email or check out my website. Both of those are linked in the description. But if you have learned your lesson, what do you do next? Well, now you release the perfectionism. And so how do you do that? You go into that heart space again. And again, you're not thinking, you're going into that heart space and you're bringing that root cause of the perfectionism into that heart space. And you're saying, look, I acknowledge that you're here. I appreciate you for the lesson that you've been teaching me. I feel like I have learned that lesson, so I don't need you anymore. So I'm going to allow you to leave so that you can evolve into your next highest evolutionary aspect. So you're free to go. And I'm going to allow myself to evolve into my own next highest evolutionary processes, cycles, and abilities. Now, you don't have to use those words. You can use whatever words that you want, but basically, you are allowing the perfectionism to leave so that it can be transmuted into whatever's next for it. And you're allowing yourself to also be transmuted into what is next for you. Now, there is also the aspect of the root cause. So if you're still having some difficulty releasing the root cause, because you'll want to do the same process with that, and if you are still struggling, please make sure you send me that email, because it is something that I work with specifically with my clients. So you're not alone. So now, after you have let it go, you may want to continue to do some journaling. You may want to do a burning bowl. You may want to create some kind of ceremony acknowledging that it is released, or even release it during one of these ceremonies. It's a powerful way for you to bring in the conscious mind, in your emotions, and your physical body all working together in agreement and congruency to release this thing that you no longer need. Now, step 6 is to acknowledge how you feel without it. So how does it feel to be a person who is not stuck in perfectionism, who can acknowledge themselves as whole and complete and wonderful just as they are, who can acknowledge this thing that they want to be or do or have or create as perfect just as it is, and it will continue to evolve and be better and better and better and more wonderful and more creative and more delicious as you move forward, and you welcome in all of the universe's support to make it so right now as it is. So it never has to be perfect. It just has to be delicious. It has to be fun or full of joy or full of integrity, or whatever it is that you are intending for this thing that you want to be or do or have or create. Give it permission to be itself and the fullness of itself, because you are creating something that is outside of you, and it is going to take on a life of its own. So allow it to be all of itself. And document, write down, make an audio recording, somehow document how you feel about allowing it to be all of itself. Wonderful and magnificent just as it is. Because there's no lack here. We are creating abundance around this new thing that you're wanting to be or do or have or create, through the fullness of all the magnificence that it is. Step 7 is to commit to your mental and emotional discipline to stick with that understanding that it is amazing and wonderful just as it is, and it's going to get increasingly better and more magnificent, more wonderful, the more that you work with it, the more that you allow the universe to help you shape it, and the more that you love it and allow it to become all that it intends to be. So you're going to have to work on your mental habits of perfectionism and letting those go and saying, hey, this doesn't exist for me anymore. You're going to have to work on your emotional habits of perfectionism and say, hey, this doesn't apply to me anymore. I've given that up. I've released it. I've allowed it to transmute into its next higher evolution. I'm allowing myself to transmute in the next higher evolution, and that includes me working with the universe and not trying to control or limit the universe through perfectionism. So now that you know how to release perfectionism, what are you going to replace it with? We all know that when something leaves, it leaves a space. And so we have to fill that space with what we prefer. So what is it that you're going to insert into your experience that you prefer to have over this perfectionism? And when your thoughts and emotions start switching to the perfectionism patterns that are going to keep coming up until you undo those patterns, and we know that takes 21 days or so to undo those patterns and create new habits, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be inserting this new thing that you prefer instead. So make sure you write it down, put it in a Post-it note, put it somewhere where you can see it and experience it, so that when you are in those old patterns of perfectionism, you can pull this new thing in and say, no, I prefer this instead. It can be anything that feels really supportive and juicy and inspiring for you. If you want more empowerment support each month, you're welcome to join your Empowerment Posse. It is my paid monthly membership program, and I will put the link to that in the description. So make sure you pop over and check that out. If you want free support, you're welcome to come join your Empowerment Party on Facebook. Just type that into the search bar on Facebook, your Empowerment Party, and you can join us for card readings and support tips and videos and all kinds of things each month that's available there for free. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you get notifications when I upload new content every Wednesday. And share this video with your friends, because this process really and truly works. Remember, if you need additional support, you can email me, and I will put the email in the description below. And I hope to see you soon.